live here. Yeah, so it is still Saturday night. Okay. Yeah, so traveling back from movies again. Trying to get around this guy here. So yesterday night I saw the original Back to the Future. Well, no, a movie. Maybe I don't need to explain it, but yeah. It's about Michael J. Fox's character, Marty, who knows this scientist named Dr. Brown and Emmett Brown. Yeah. Emmett Brown builds a time machine out of DeLorean, and there's these terrorists that are trying to kill Emmett Brown. And as Marty's trying to get away from them, he accidentally activates the time machine and gets sent back to 1955. And while that happens, he interferes with his parents' destiny, and he has to make sure that his parents fall in love again and fall in love the right way, so Marty can exist but also have a better life for his parents. Yeah, very good movie. The other things that I saw, that was yesterday, tonight, I saw the guys moving there. It was two genre now movies. The first one was Subway. He was like a supporting character rather than a main character. Like a main character was Christopher Lambert, and I'm saying her last name correctly, Isabel Adjani. I like her song Bill Murray. This is probably the first movie I've seen with her acting in it, and I don't know, the plot of this movie is a little confusing. Christopher Lambert, the guy from Highlander, is a thief in this movie who robs people like around the Paris metro. And I don't know, the movie seems a little bit random. One scene he's blowing the doors off of the safe. Another scene is with these misfits that live around the Paris metro, and I guess eventually some of these people he's with, are thieves or become thieves to help him. And I don't know, Isabella Gianni is investigating him, and I'm trying to get some sort of money back from him. I don't know, I have to watch the movie again because the plot is confusing, and this movie, the one I saw, was narrated like it wasn't in the original French, it was in English, dubbing rather than subtitles, so I don't know, maybe there's something with the French language that's, missing from the story that I'm not getting. And the music was by Eric Sierra, but it wasn't his strongest soundtrack. Afterwards, they had Leon the Professional, which I like his soundtrack in that, and then I like his soundtrack in the James Bond movie GoldenEye. They're both very different than the Subway movie with the music. But Leon the Professional and GoldenEye are almost the same soundtrack. You could say that Leon the Professional is like the proto GoldenEye as far as the Eric Sierra soundtrack goes. But yeah, I saw Leon the Professional afterwards, and the plot is Natalie Portman's this young girl, and her father's a drug dealer of sorts, and there's this corrupt DEA agent who's apparently a drug dealer himself. He doesn't think that Natalie Portman's father is being honest with him, and he expects certain results by the next day, and he doesn't think the father delivers, so he executes Natalie Portman, whatever her character's name was, executes her father, her younger brother, and then like her half sister and her stepmother. And there's this assassin, like a hired hitman, Leon, who happens to live down the hallway, like is an acquaintance of Natalie Portman's character. Yeah, it's played by Sean right now. She ends up being taken in by him, and she's like infatuated by him. She's got nowhere else to go, and she ends up being fascinated by him. She wants to become an assassin like him, but him aside from being an assassin, he's just living a simple life. He waters his plant, and he doesn't really do too much else. He's from Italy, but he didn't find the time to learn to be literate in English. So when he meets Natalie Portman's character, she's trying to learn the hitman assassin game, and while that's happening, she's trying to teach him how to be literate in English. And while DEA agents that killed her father, she eventually gets up the nerve to go to the DEA's office, and she goes there thinking, this is gonna be spoilers, all of course, when she goes hacking heat, she's got a pistol in the box. She gets in the building, but she doesn't get up the nerve to actually kill the guy. And the guy's almost gonna kill her himself, and he ends up just putting her in the custody of the other DEA agents while this guy's trying to, I guess, look for Leon. The movie ends with the DEA guy and the SWAT team trying to, hunt down Portman and Leon. And, I don't want to spoil more than that. Interesting movie, but really good soundtrack to the movie. So yeah, just driving home. I live in Pennsylvania here, and this weather, end of May, is a little bit cold for this time of year. Last year, the same thing was really cold for this time of year. I don't know, maybe those wildfires in Canada, last year or the year before, with the smoke, maybe that's had an effect on the weather. Yeah, it's been a little chillier than usual. Maybe we've had 4 hot days, over the last month or 2. Yesterday was kind of warm too. But today was really windy, but no rain or being full of rain. Maybe it drizzled somewhere. Yeah, that movie Subway, I couldn't tell what part of the Paris Metro it took place in. It was not a part of the Metro I'd been in. I'd have to look it up and see where they actually filmed it. I've been in the Metro from the Orly Airport, down to the Louvre Museum. I got off at one of the stations by the Louvre, so I know the Metro there, and then I know the northern station, the Gare du Nord, going to Versailles, whatever train it is, not the tram, but the other train that takes you to Versailles. Anyways, that movie was 40 years ago too, so the styling of the stations would change too. But yeah, one of the interesting things in the movie was they have Christopher Lambert's character, he's going through these back hallways of the subway metro system. And, he's walking on this catwalk, and the catwalk gives way, and there's a huge drop underneath him, and it's like a bottomless pit. And really, that's no joke, because I'm trying to think of what street it's near, but I was on the surface. Listen to my scanner for a second.
Fire Department 1221 over Street for activate the fire alarm. You want a car in? Car.
Yeah, getting back to the subway movie, Christopher Lambert shouting out. Yeah, so I was on the surface streets, and they have an open vent to the metro, and I don't know what metro line this was, but you stand on it, and depending on who you are, it can be scary. It's like a bottomless pit. It's definitely more than 60 feet. It might be I don't know, 140 feet. I don't know what that translates to 2 meters or whatever. It's like 300 meters deep or something. It's pretty deep. Yeah, there are metro in certain parts of Paris. It's really deep, because wherever I got off by the Louvre, there's multiple flights of escalators. I had my luggage from the airport, and you go up this one escalator, it takes you how far? I don't know, I think there was 3 sets of escalators that you went up a few floors, and then when you got to the very top, there was steps, so you had I had a laptop bag and 60 pounds of wheeled luggage, and trying to get up these 12-foot flight of steps or whatever at the very end. Some deer got cremated there. But yeah, subways, metro systems are very interesting. I grew up around the one up in Boston, so I took every line that was around that time, line, red line, green line, orange line, the commuter rail was the purple line. I like how the Boston, Massachusetts area, the MBTA, had everything color coded, so the buses were coded yellow, and I've never been on it since I moved. They have another, I don't know, a trolley bus or something that's called the Silver Line. Yeah, the whole train system up in Boston is extensive. The blue line is subway style cars, where it has both electrified rails and then overhead wires. The red line, I believe, is all electrified rails, and the green line is trolley tram style with the overhead wires. And orange line again is electrified rails. A lot of the orange line is surface stuff that goes up towards Alden area, that sort of thing. North of Boston, and then the blue line would be northeast of Boston, and then red line would be more or less like downtown Boston, and then like there's a line that goes to like Harvard. There's another line that goes a little like southeast on that, and then the green line is partially underground, partially under this, on the surface, and some of that would be like kind of like southwest area of Boston, and then purple line commuter rail. There's two separate parts. They're theoretically linked, but they don't travel in between with like passengers. I think you got like a north station in Boston, you got a south station, and they go to the towns that are like on the outskirts of Boston, like let's say an hour away or whatever it is. So, for instance, part of that purple line goes up to like Lowell, Massachusetts. And another train I've been on is the Patco, which goes from downtown Philadelphia, goes across the Ben Franklin Bridge into New Jersey, and goes into towns like Haddonfield and Collinswood. So I've been on that. And then, like I mentioned, I've been on the Paris Metro and other train that takes you to the Versailles. And funny enough, although I wasn't on it, in Montreal there's a metro, and the first time I was up near Montreal, like this is right before I got onto Montreal, I got off an exit to stop.
112 engine.
I was heading north from like New York to Montreal, like I was already in Quebec, and I get off an exit.
Chief 93 Alpha.
Driving on scene, they got a two-story wood six-unit apartment. Nothing showing from the exterior of the investigating.
Story wood frame, 6-unit apartment.
So I get off an exit before Montreal, like before the old Champlain Bridge, before they changed that bridge.
Yeah, 96. Good. Tractor supply. Exterior group 1 alarm. Try to get hold of this if you get one.
Engine 93. Copy en route. 2346.
So anyhow, I get off an exit before Montreal, like in the suburbs of Montreal, and I go to a grocery store, go shopping in the grocery store, get a few items, and I get to the register, and the cashier, she's asking me in French for a Metro card, and I'm like baffled, I'm confused, and because I think she's asking for like a pass to get on like the subway, and I didn't quite realize that the one of the supermarket chains up in Quebec is called Metro, so they have a Shoppers Club card, for the Metro store, and yeah, I guess if you both got a Metro that goes underground and you got a grocery store called Metro, it could get confusing when somebody asks you for your Metro card. You're at a grocery store and you're wondering why somebody's asking for your pass to get through the train turnstiles or something. I saw up here at the Gap Theater was last week was it the what was his name? Leslie Nielsen, the original Naked Gun movie. That was quite interesting. It was entertaining, but I thought, I don't know, maybe I like the third Naked Gun movie more. I don't remember what the second one was like. But yeah, it's three good movies anyways. And then they were preceded by a TV show called Police Squad. So if you watch the Police Squad TV show and the three movies, they're all very funny. I did not see the Liam Neeson remake. I don't know what was going on. I was too busy at the time. And the other thing I saw, the other movie I saw a little over a week ago was the movie Stripes, and it's Bill Murray and oh, I'm trying to think of his friend's name, the other guy that was in Ghostbusters, but the guy Bill Murray feels his life isn't going anywhere. He has a really aggravating job as a taxi driver, so he suggests, that he and his friend join the army.
What's all that?
We'll be on scene at the library and
Talking with all that at the hydrant and the room in the ground.
So most of the movie, most of the movie Stripes is filmed at Fort Knox. So these guys, they train at Fort Knox, and there's also John Candy in the movie. And there's all sorts of funny bits. And there's this drill sergeant that has no patience for the drill sergeant's serious, but there's this captain above the drill sergeant that's a goofball. And a few spoilers here, but there's one of the scenes where the captain is with some guys that are practicing with the mortar, and he just tells them, oh, go aim off in this direction. Well, while that's happening, the drill sergeant is with Bill Murray, and they're climbing on other soldiers, and the dart mortar hits the tower while the drill sergeant's up there, and then drill sergeant gets put out of action. So Bill Murray and his goofball friends, they Bill Murray and his friends get stationed in Europe, and there's these female military police officers that these guys have a relationship with Bill Murray and his close friends.
I get it.
I'm team man. That's the wire.
Copy it. 98.
Well, what there is in the movie, there's this, it's an RV, but it's like an armored RV with weapons, and Bill Murray and his friends are stationed in Italy. They steal this RV to go see these two female MPs that they like that are stationed up in Germany. And the captain or whoever it was, thinks that the vehicle is like, stolen by saboteurs or something.
Everything is
go try to follow them into Germany, but the crew of soldiers there trying to recover the RV end up going the wrong road into communist, led Czechoslovakia. And the Czechoslovaks and the Germans hold them prisoner, and then Bill Murray, realizes that he has to go across the border to the prison to save his friends and such. So, yeah, interesting, funny movie. And it looks to be a full moon tonight, I think it is. It's almost 3/4 moon, so it looks full, I guess. That's the moon there. That billboard says change on it. That's going to be it for now.